Yeah. Yeah. Make sure this last part's here. All right, y'all. Birthday is over. Time to get back to business. Give it just a minute. People start showing up, and we're gonna get to this. This is from Mr. Pipsqueak channel. Dude is freaking awesome, and this story is it's pretty fucking bad, man. It's pretty fucking bad. I don't see how you could be a person of sane mind and agree with the things that are happening right now in Toccoa. All right, we're here. 2.5 minutes. I'm gonna hit play, y'all. Because I don't want to have a bunch of dead space in the front. This. All right.
Right now in Stevens County, Georgia, there's a guy who's accused of trying to back his truck up over a cop, but video clearly shows he's innocent. On June 29th, 2024, Justin Freeman, a private school teacher and church elder, had a chance encounter with bad cop Donnie Nelson inside the Home Depot in Toccoa, Georgia.
I was going to pick up an online order for some door hinges. Based on my review of the security footage, I was in there for 67 seconds.
For years, Elder Freeman, a native of North Georgia, has been known as an outspoken critic of abuses by local police. For example, in 2023, the Northeast Georgian published Freeman's criticisms of court backlogs, with Freeman saying things like, "We have a constitutional and legal right to a speedy trial, and the courts have a duty to give us that." And it is unfortunate that our prosecutors are of such ethical quality as to intentionally attempt to bully innocent people into entering false guilty pleas. That will only end when prosecutors lose absolute immunity and face real accountability. He also criticized police for failing to create video and audio recordings for traffic stops and for making fake traffic stops. In 2023, Freeman said, "It would behoove the police to stop maliciously writing frivolous citations which they can't prove, but obviously they won't do that so long as writing citations yields them a financial benefit and brings them no meaningful consequences. We desperately need accountability for law enforcement." Meanwhile, Donnie Nelson is a notorious bad cop. According to his personnel file, Nelson...
Yeah, he talking about that qualified immunity shit, y'all. Because it doesn't matter how many false arrests, how many bad false traffic stops, it doesn't matter how many charges get dropped, how many cases get dismissed. There is no legal repercussions to these cops for doing this shit to people when they know that the people haven't committed a fucking crime.
Consequences. We desperately need accountability for law enforcement. Meanwhile, Donnie Nelson is a notorious bad cop. According to his personnel file, Nelson immigrated to the U.S. from Trinidad and Tobago. He's only lived in Toccoa for the past few years. Back in 2021, Nelson was working as a jailer in Stevens County, but quit, and Sheriff Randy Shirley marked his personnel file not eligible for rehire. We don't know why he did, but this suggests that Nelson shouldn't have been working in law enforcement by the time of Home Depot. Despite this, Shirley rehired Nelson as a patrol deputy in November of 2021. In his less than 3 years of experience on patrol, Nelson was a repeated disciplinary problem. Nelson was so aggressive on the job that even the fire department chief emailed the sheriff to complain of multiple instances of Nelson's hostile attitude toward firefighters. He wrote, "We cannot volunteer our time for this county and be verbally abused any further by this deputy." Nelson's police report claims that he went to the Home Depot to use the bathroom, but video shows he was shopping on the job. While in the Home Depot, Freeman made his opinion about local police corruption known.
Justin saw Officer Nelson and started saying that he can't believe how we would serve people like that, scumbag like that in our store.
Okay.
I don't think it was a racist thing at all. I think it was just police in general.
Later, police told the newspapers that Freeman had threatened and cussed at Nelson, but Home Depot's workers disagreed.
I did not hear profanity.
No threats, though.
Not that I'm aware of.
For saying this, Freeman was charged with disorderly.
Yeah, nobody in this store heard him make a threat at the officer or even use an actual cuss word. But that's what the bad cop said before this next part happens.
Conduct. But in March of 2025, Judge Cornwell dismissed that charge, affirming that Freeman's words were protected speech. By the way, the case is being prosecuted by Stevens County Assistant District Attorney Suzanne Boykin. Over 90% of survey respondents say that she is evil, and about as many say they would like to see her go to prison instead of Elder Freeman. And by the end of this video, you'll see why. Nelson claims that the manager of the Home Depot asked him to give the guy a criminal trespass warning. Nelson claims that the manager of Freeman, and by the end,
Y'all, if that don't speak volumes right there, we always be talking. I'll be talking about the 1%, y'all, all the time. 1% of the votes said the Elder Freeman should go to jail. 88% said the crooked deputy and the prosecutor need to go to jail. 2% just her, 9% just the bad cop. 1%. 1%, y'all, of Elder Freeman said Elder Freeman should be the one going to prison. Because anybody with the same fucking mind and human compassion realizes the man didn't do any fucking thing. You're going to see it. I decided to only watch the third version. This kid has covered his shit very well. He does a great job. You can go. I'm going to put his link in the description after the video, after the live ends. I want everybody to check him out. He is putting in the work. He is putting in the research, and he knows what the hell he's talking about. And he's the only one talking about this. And this is crazy that he's the only one talking about this, man. Because it's still going on. 2 years later, it's still going on because of her right here. Susan Boykin. She is allowing this shit to continue when she knows that it's all lies. She knows. Wow. She got booted and didn't realize it. Didn't realize it. Sorry, y'all. Be right back. I would try to pay for StreamYard if I thought it would get better. But I paid for it before and it wasn't no fucking better.
by the way, the case is being prosecuted by Stevens County Assistant District Attorney Suzanne Boykin. Over 90% of respondents say that she is evil, and about as many say they would like to see her go to prison instead of Elder Freeman. And by the end of this video, you'll see why. Nelson claims that the manager of the Home Depot asked him to give the guy a criminal trespass warning, but Home Depot's workers disagreed.
That you're aware of, did you or any other associates from Home Depot ask Deputy Nelson to bar Mr. Freeman from the store?
No.
Okay. Nobody said, issue him a bar notice, criminal trespass warning, or
tell him not to come back.
Yeah.
No, that's the store manager's decision, not ours.
So, Nelson followed Freeman out to the parking lot, and Freeman backed his truck up to leave. Nelson claimed,
"Yeah, he backed that red truck up like he about to hit me. So I freaking pull off, turn my blue lights on. He wouldn't freaking stop."
but video clearly shows he didn't.
Now, you recall seeing the surveillance footage of the exterior of the Home Depot. While you were in that parking lot, were you aware that former Deputy Nelson had also exited the Home Depot?
I was.
Okay. And did at any point you attempt to run over or pull in the direction of Mr. Nelson?
No. Okay.
Definitively that Freeman did not attempt to back over Nelson in the glitch because there are 2 angles of this video. Let's watch a side-by-side, frame-by-frame analysis so everyone at home can see that there is no possibility that Freeman ever tried to run over Nelson.
Just keep trying to fuck up on my end, guys. I'm sorry. It didn't affect anything on the screen. But watch this red truck. This red truck up here is the one. There's the cop.
Here it is.
There's the
On
officer
one side,
right there in the middle of
Freeman
the.
backed up.
20
But in
Right.
the glitch, we have to look
There's
at a
the truck
second
backing up. Nowhere
It's hard
near.
to see because of the tree,
Nowhere
but
near.
you can see clearly that Nelson went toward and not away from the truck. Meanwhile, the
nowhere
truck
near.
is just sitting there, not moving
And he
toward
takes
Nelson.
off running.
Then the glitch ends, and the truck pulls
This
forward.
cop takes off
If you
running
watch
to get to
this
his
second
crazy
angle at
voice.
high speed, the motion makes Nelson's position more apparent through the tree. Despite that, Nelson pulled Freeman over and arrested him. Police told the news that Freeman backed up aggressively and almost hit the deputy. They charged him with assault, claiming that he did commit an act which placed Don D. Nelson in reasonable apprehension of immediately receiving a violent injury by reversing his vehicle quickly in the direction of Don D. Nelson. Nelson made that accusation in June of 2024. Then in October of 2024, he admitted in sworn testimony that Freeman hadn't even come close to hitting him, saying the closest approach of his truck was maybe about 5 feet. He also said the backup wasn't a crime. Freeman's lawyer asked, as far as the backing up, did you swear out a warrant for that conduct? Nelson replied, no, sir, I don't have probable cause at that time. So Freeman made a political statement and Nelson falsely accused him. Now, almost 2 years later, Assistant DA Suzanne Boykin is still falsely accusing Freeman of trying to run over Nelson, even though there's proof he didn't do it. So, since that time, Nelson has claimed that he had to pull Freeman over for running a stop sign. But Nelson's story is inconsistent, and there's no evidence that Freeman ran the stop sign. As Freeman left the Home Depot parking lot, security video showed that Nelson ran in the opposite direction to get to his patrol car. So when Freeman passed the stop sign exiting the Home Depot, Nelson was on the complete opposite side of the parking lot, where cars and thick trees would have made the stop sign impossible to see. And Nelson's story is inconsistent. He claimed in a court hearing that Freeman ran the stop sign across from Memorial on Walmart Way. That's confusing because Walmart Way doesn't even intersect Memorial, and there's no stop sign passing Walmart Way, so it isn't clear what he was talking about. If Nelson did start the chase because of a stop sign, he didn't say anything about it to the 911 dispatch.
Attempt to make a traffic stop on Highway 17, vehicles not stopping.
And after Freeman was in cuffs, Nelson didn't say anything about a stop sign either.
What crime did I commit that initiated the stop? Name it. Name the crime. You can't, because you know there isn't one. You can't name the crime because you know there isn't one.
The first time that Nelson ever gave anyone a reason for the stop, the reason he gave was exclusively speech crimes.
All it is, I came out of freaking Home Depot. I walked in Home Depot.
10-4, just hang up so you can quit yelling. Maybe you can hear me.
So I came out of here. I'm the company. Jumped over big lights. I walked. Take me on a high-speed chase all around.
Remember, Freeman didn't say anything like that.
I didn't hear any threat. I don't remember any cussing. I did not hear profanity.
No threats.
Not that I'm aware of.
Later, when Nelson was describing the chase to his buddies, he included the truck backing up, but he said nothing about the supposed stop sign.
I come out there, he backed that red truck up like he about to hit me. So I friggin' pull off, turn my blue lights on, he wouldn't friggin' stop.
Have I mentioned that Suzanne Boykin has also said explicitly on the record that Freeman isn't charged with running a stop sign as he left Home Depot? Last year, when she was still defending the speech crime charge, she said this on the record. There was no allegation made that he was driving recklessly through the Home Depot parking lot when he was initially leaving Home Depot. But now that the speed crime charge is dismissed, Boykin has also changed her reason for the stop, insisting that it was all about the stop sign. Nelson created no dash camera video, so after they both exited the Home Depot parking lot, there's a gap of about 76 seconds in which we can't see what happened. And missing video was a common problem for Nelson. His personnel file shows that Nelson had to be warned repeatedly about turning off his cameras. Records show that Nelson would claim his cameras weren't working, would be issued new cameras, and then still wouldn't use them. So there's no evidence that Freeman committed any crime before Nelson turned on his blue lights. Here's Elder Freeman's testimony about what did happen.
We went out of the Home Depot parking lot and then straight across Memorial Drive after stopping at the stop sign at the entrance to the parking lot. And then we circled around a street that goes around the Walmart parking lot, and then ended up back on Highway 17, where I was going in the direction of my house in Stevens County.
Okay, and let me go back. You mentioned a stop sign. Can you tell us again where that stop sign that you just referred to is located?
Well, Assistant DA Boykin pointed out a stop sign that was at the end of the Home Depot parking lot, where the parking lot runs into Memorial. So I presume that she
Forgot I was muted, Joe. This is the stop sign. They're deciding that he ran, but from where that cop was set, there was absolutely no way in hell he could have seen whether he ran the stop sign or not. But this is the one Susan Boykin is settling on. Every aspect of this fucking case, every fucking point of this case, is pure fucking corruption of the judicial system. It was started because he pissed off a bad cop. He was in fear of his life. He made sure he got to a place that had people, so there was witnesses, because he thought the cops was going to kill him. Understandable. So he ends up back at Home Depot, and I still might go back and show that video before I shut this down. But yeah, it all started because of that shit. And then he goes by Walmart in the video. Nobody's there. So he keeps driving. He never speeds the whole time. He does not speed. It was not a high speed chase like they just said. I'll show the video to prove that. And since there was nobody at Walmart, he just made his way back to Home Depot where he knew people was at. And I can't remember if he shows what they did. He might show it during this. I don't know. But you guys will see it. I'll make sure you see it.
believes that is of some significance.
And so, to be clear, what you alluded to, and what you're referencing now, is the stop sign that onto Memorial, it's Memorial Way. Is that correct?
I'm not 100% certain of the street name, but yeah, there is a street called Memorial, and there's a stop sign there exiting the Home Depot parking lot, and I can tell you for certain that I did stop there.
Okay. And do you recall? Was former Deputy Nelson, was he behind you when you stopped at that stop sign at Memorial?
No, I was generally aware that Nelson was trying to follow me, and so I was being very conscientious about making sure that I obeyed all of the traffic laws. However, Nelson was not anywhere near to me at that point because obviously, as we saw from the video, I had a significant lead ahead of Nelson. And so after I pulled out of that parking lot and started circling around that road, whatever the name of it is, that goes around the Walmart parking lot, I believed that we were gone and that Nelson was gone. I mean, he ended up back behind me, but not immediately. He was not behind me. No.
And so can you recall, as far as you're located again, if you can orient us with street names, that would be helpful. Can you recall when you first observed Deputy Nelson to have caught up to you directly behind you?
Well, Nelson caught up to me on that road that goes around the Walmart parking lot. I think maybe Walmart Way. I mean, if you could show me a map, I can show you exactly where, right? I'm fumbling with the names of the streets, but I can show you exactly where I went, exactly where he was. But Nelson, I don't know, he must have hauled tail to catch up to me. But just because there was such a significant gap between me and the parking lot.
Sure.
I realized watching my replays, the video sound comes through a lot better if I mute my microphone. Yeah, I just got to be careful and make sure I unmute when I talk. But what's that? Yeah, this is pretty important to me on this, man. This shit's still ongoing. This man's still being charged with so many bullshit fucking crimes, and the only thing that he has done is speak out against the police brutality and the fucking false arrest and the corruption going on around this place. And because he spoke out about it, they decided to trump up some charges and pull some shit. And even after the officer started this shit, saying the truck tried to hit him, he admitted that the truck was nowhere near hitting him. And then they tried to say he ran a stop sign, but the prosecutor, Susan Boykin, is still trying to press the issue, saying that he tried to hit the officer. And now they couldn't even make up their mind which stop sign they said he ran. So he takes them on a low speed chase, ends up back at Home Depot. And if they don't show the video on this particular video I'm reacting to, I will get back to his previous video to show y'all. But this is undoubtedly one of the worst fucking things happening right now in the fucking court system in America. And this is Toccoa, Georgia. And this man is still facing these charges. He's still facing exile over bullshit of a fucking bad cop. And this cop that started it, Deputy Nelson, that started this whole fucking thing, he quit like within 2 weeks of this happening. And if you guys missed the beginning of the video, Nelson used to be a CO at the jail. He was fired from there for abusive behavior and said he would never be able to work in law enforcement again. But then the sheriff of the same place turned around and rehired him as a patrol officer, or, a deputy. And then after this happened, he quits and he gets a job with the city police department. So he's still a fucking cop. What up, Mr. J? But that's where we're at.
But yeah, he pulled up behind me on that road as we were approaching the stop sign that is next to Sonic.
Okay. And by the time that you had turned on to 17, was Nelson behind you?
Yes. Yeah, and by the time I had turned on to 17, again, I was attempting to go about my business, hoping that Nelson would just leave us alone. But by the time that I got on to 17, it was...
This is where he had his son start recording, because he realized Nelson was coming up behind him, and he knew he was about to try to pull him over. So he wanted his son to record because he was going to get to a place he felt safe, a place that at least had witnesses, for the cops to do exactly what they fucking do.
Very obvious that Nelson was intentionally following us, because one would have to look backward to go in that direction, right? So this is a counterintuitive question mark kind of motion that Nelson would have to make.
And is it at that point that that you became aware that Nelson had initiated his emergency lights and sirens?
He turned his emergency lights and sirens on after that.
So, correct, after you had traveled to 17.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we got on to 17, and Nelson was behind us, and I alerted my son that I believed he was following us. And then I turned back at the Sonic, going back in the direction of Walmart, so that I could confirm with certainty if I was going in a circle whether or not he was trying to follow us. And that was at the point that I became very concerned when it was obvious that he was following us, because there was no reason for him to be doing so.
Shortly before Nelson's blue lights came on, Freeman's son started recording a cell phone video. Once Nelson turned on the blue lights, Freeman turned around in the Point Church parking lot and went back in the direction of the Home Depot. Nelson claimed,
So I came out of here, I come to talk to me, jumped in the video and took off, man. Take me on a high-speed chase all the way around.
but the evidence shows otherwise. What Nelson had formerly characterized as a dangerous high-speed chase, in actuality,
Yeah, he said I came outside to talk to him, and that's when he jumped in his truck and tried to back over me and almost hit me with the truck, blah, blah, blah. He wasn't going out to talk to him, y'all. He was going out to fucking arrest him for POP, pissing off the police, because he exercised his First Amendment right of freedom of speech, and the cop didn't fucking like it. But and there's a record, there's a record a mile fucking long about how bad this fucking cop is. He shouldn't never been put in a uniform, let alone a second uniform and a third uniform. Okay. So and everybody in this fucking area knows this. That's why this dude don't want to pull over out on the highway.
went on for approximately 1.7 miles and lasted about 5 minutes and 35 seconds, an average speed of only 18 miles per hour. The cell phone video shows Freeman driving super slowly and even stopping for a red light. In court, Nelson admitted this, saying the speed was probably at 20 miles an hour and that they drove about a mile. The extended cell phone video suggests that Freeman was in a state of distress and panic that only crescendoed as the low-speed chase went on. First, he doesn't know what to do.
What do we do? What do we do? I mean, this man is coming after us for no reason.
Then, he decides to go back to Walmart where he hopes people will see them.
We need to at least go to a place where people can see what's happening.
Then, he drives past Walmart screaming for help, but there really aren't any people there who might help.
Help us! We've done nothing! Help us!
By the way, this new piece of video is a stark contrast to Nelson's former statements. Remember, the SDSO account in the newspapers claimed that Freeman had hit dangerous speeds through all the Walmart crosswalks. In a prior hearing, Nelson claimed that Freeman had been driving through the Walmart parking lot showing a disregard to human life. Period. In front of Walmart, disregard people was exiting Walmart. Entering Walmart, disregard to human life. Freeman is charged with felony fleeing on the claim that he was fleeing in traffic conditions which placed the general public at risk of receiving serious injuries, and with felony reckless driving.
Facts, Mr. J. Facts. It's either people that were bullies in high school, and once high school's over, they had to figure out a way to keep bullying people, so they went to the police academy, or it's people that were bullied in high school, and there's a way I can bully on people, bully people back. You know what I mean? And that's the fucked up, sad truth about it, man. You're absolutely right.
On the claim that he was driving in reckless disregard for the safety of persons and property, which is not what any of the video shows. There was no one going into or out of Walmart. Rather than saying that Freeman was shouting for help, Nelson also claimed in that prior hearing that Freeman was shouting, "A dumbass police officer is trying to stop me, and I'm not stopping. I'm running from the police." Incredibly, despite the fact that Freeman is clearly panicked,
You hear everything the dude said because his son was recording it the whole time. You heard him yelling out the window, "Help, help. We've done nothing." And the dude, they made up shit that he said. They made up shit that he did. It's fucking ridiculous from start to fucking finish on this fucking trial. The judge needs to be fucking fired. Susan Boykin needs to be fucking fired. fucking Nelson needs to be put in fucking jail. Every fucking officer on this final stop back at Home Depot, every fucking cop involved in this shit should be in fucking jail. You'll see.
The video also shows him slowing to a stop at Memorial Drive on the way back into the Home Depot parking lot. And if he had been trying to run, at this point, he still could have made a break for the highway. This man is not a criminal on the run. He's just terrified.
I had been irregular at the Home Depot. I knew that there were people there who had seen me frequently and who would know who I was, and would probably be able to realize that I was not up to any kind of significant, violent misconduct or something of that nature. I knew that there were people there, and I have always been advised that if you don't feel safe being pulled over by an officer, you should go to a well-lit place with lots of people and security cameras and things like that, so that there is a definite record of what happened. And so I knew that if I could get back to Home Depot, it would be the most safe place.
So then, Freeman drives past the front of the Home Depot, screaming for help. Help! Help! But no one came out to help. In fact, the opposite happened, as security video from inside the Home Depot shows the manager locking the door to keep anyone from going out. Toccoa PD's response to the low-speed chase was excessive. Here's Jake, the Punisher Palmer, weaving lanes on his way to the Home Depot.
By the way, Home Depot, fuck you for that too. That's fucked up. That is one of your paying customers. You just witnessed what fucking started this shit. And the man comes back screaming for help and you lock the fucking doors. That is fucking sad, bro. I absolutely love Home Depot, and that is some of the most fucking hateful, fucking inhumane shit I've ever seen in my fucking life, bro. So fuck y'all for that. So I just gotta put that in there. I'm going back this up so you guys hear what he calls the cop. It's fucking hilarious.
Here's Jake, the Punisher Palmer, weaving lanes on his way to the Home Depot. And here's Angel Dixon, hitting 100 miles per hour on Big A Road.
Sir, we're on the phone with GSP.
The sheriff's office told the newspaper that Nelson stopped his vehicle as the police.
They're driving through traffic, putting actual lives in danger to chase down a truck that supposedly tried to run over an officer, which was a complete fucking lie. Supposedly ran a stop sign, which they have no fucking proof of. And the pursuit has averaged the speed of 18 miles per hour. 18 miles per hour is the average speed of this fucking police chase. And this cop is doing 103 miles an hour through traffic to get there. Tell me how that makes fucking sense.
He's continued the pursuit, and that Freeman swerved his truck in the direction of the deputy, striking the deputy's cruiser head on. In a court hearing, Nelson claimed, "I stopped. He took his vehicle and he ran his vehicle straight into my driver's side door, pinned me in the vehicle." The indictment claims Freeman did knowingly make an assault by driving his Chevrolet Colorado directly into the patrol vehicle. And Suzanne Boykin claims that Freeman was using his truck as a deadly weapon.
You can only resist an unlawful stop with proportionate force. That did not happen in this case. He used a vehicle as a deadly weapon and ran.
And you guys hear this shit. Nelson says that the dude rammed him with his truck. The district attorney, assistant district attorney, Susan Boykin, they're spreading this shit. And wait till you see what actually happened at the end of this.
Ran that into Officer Nelson's car.
But evidence shows otherwise. Seconds before the crash, Toccoa police officer Jake Palmer radioed,
I'm right, I'm gonna box him in.
Home Depot security video shows Nelson's patrol vehicle intentionally pulling across a row of parking spaces and directly in front of Freeman's truck, causing the crash, which was really more of a fender bender. Video also shows Nelson, completely unharmed, immediately jumped out of the driver's side door and pointed a gun at Freeman's innocent, unarmed 11-year-old son. And they think Freeman is the one who committed an assault with a deadly weapon?
At some point.
Y'all caught that right. Freeman has his 11-year-old son in the truck. That's who's been recording. 11-year-old son. And now Officer Nelson, Deputy Nelson, is pointing a loaded police-issued firearm at the 11-year-old in the truck. Like he had any fucking thing to do with any fucking thing. And by the way, spoiler alert, the 11-year-old gets arrested. That's not the only thing that happens to him.
You come up with a plan so as to stop Mr. Freeman's vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. And was that plan to perform a box-in maneuver of Mr. Freeman's vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just kind of briefly explain for me, well, what is a box-in maneuver?
This to prevent him from going any further.
Okay. And what does it involve?
Just getting in front of him and stopping the vehicle.
Okay. And so that is an officer would directly place their vehicle in front of the vehicle you were trying to stop.
Yes.
Okay. And so is that what happened at that point?
This is not the way. No.
Wait, let's go back and look at the video.
I'm right, I'm gonna box him in.
So Palmer claims that he tried to box Freeman in but failed to do so?
Okay. Let me take a step back. So, so you're following Mr. Freeman, you're directly behind Mr. Freeman, and then Deputy Nelson, former Deputy Nelson is parallel to you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And in your route of travel, ultimately the parking lot was going to end, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so based on the end of that parking lot, it would become necessary for a vehicle to take a right-hand turn, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so Deputy Nelson traveled to the far end of that parking lot, correct?
Not all the way. Yes.
Not all the way. Okay. Did Deputy Nelson position his vehicle in the line of travel that Mr. Freeman would be taking upon taking that right?
If he would have continued turning right as he did, yes.
Okay. And then you were directly behind Mr. Freeman.
Let's watch the crash from Palmer's dash cam and listen as Freeman and Palmer both give their perspective.
At this point in time, you would agree, officer, that you are directly behind Mr. Freeman's vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And then to your right, that is parallel on the other side of that divide, Deputy Nelson's patrol vehicle is traveling, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Right before that, Officer Palmer, do you see any way that Mr. Freeman could have avoided hitting Deputy Nelson?
Yes.
And how is that?
He could have turned left instead of right into him.
And so this wasn't a box-in, in that there wasn't another person that was boxing him in, is that correct?
No, he had an avenue to escape.
1050.
Did you intentionally ram your vehicle into Mr. Nelson's patrol vehicle?
No.
Did you believe that you had any other possible course of action to avoid colliding with Deputy Nelson's patrol vehicle?
No, and I think everybody needs to bear in mind that first off, this is the most terrifying thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. There were multiple police officers chasing me for
Absolutely, Mr. J. They are getting paid good money to lie like this, Brett. And that's what I'm saying, dude. The millions and millions and millions of people have seen all this footage. We've seen the actual fucking camera footage, the dash cams, the fucking Home Depot cam. We've seen it all from every fucking angle, Brett. And they just lie after fucking lie after fucking lie, man. Alvin, you should have been here for the beginning, bro. This guy is Elder Justin Freeman. And he has been speaking out about the police violence and the police brutality and the false arrest happening around this place for a while. He was in Home Depot and he said something to Deputy Nelson. Deputy Nelson didn't like it, so he goes out in the parking lot, checking his license plate and all that shit. You know what cops do. Dude comes out, gets in his truck and leaves. He's nowhere near the officer. The officer never told him to stop, and the officer never tried to stop him. When he backs his truck out, the Deputy Nelson tries to say that he tried to hit him with his truck. The video clearly proves that to be a fucking lie. He was nowhere near him with his truck. But Deputy Nelson's butthurt now. So Deputy Nelson runs across the parking lot to get in his cruiser to go chase this guy down. And this guy knows what the cops in this fucking area do to him. So he's trying to get to a place that has witnesses in case something goes terribly wrong, which it fucking does. And this high-speed chase that they're talking about was 18 miles an hour. He tried to go to Walmart, so there was people that seen what was happening. They wasn't there, so he ended up back at Home Depot. And then as soon as Deputy Nelson causes the accident to stop the truck, he immediately jumps out, pulls out his police-issue firearm, and aims it at Elder Justin Freeman's 11-year-old son in the passenger seat of the fucking truck. And that's not all they do to that 11-year-old boy. It was unlawful, every fucking thing, Alvin. Every fucking thing about this. Every fucking cop involved in what goes down in this parking lot should be in fucking jail, bro. Period. Every fucking one of them involved. There was like 3 different departments showed up on this shit. And every fucking one of them deserves to be in fucking jail. This man did absolutely fucking nothing. And I'm not going to encourage anybody to stop and talk to the fucking cops. I've seen enough now across this fucking country of how bad the fucking shit is. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. They're taking away our freedom of speech. They can arrest people. They can fill out any citation they want. It doesn't matter how many false arrests, how many false fucking reports, how many false fucking information, how many people are falsely arrested. It doesn't matter how many fucking charges are dismissed by the court because they were false. They're not fucking getting in trouble because of qualified immunity. Bro, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I'm dead on this one. I'm dead on, bro. There's no fucking way that you can call this shit just doing their fucking job. There's no fucking way, bro. None.
Absolutely no reason. I was very concerned for the life of my son. I believe that maybe this would have turned out differently if my son had not been with me, but he was with me. And so I was extremely afraid. And, Jay Palmer has presented hypothetical that I could have suddenly swerved to the left.
I also forgot to mention this particular officer, Deputy Nelson at the time, already had a rap sheet. He was fired from being a CO at the county jail for beating people up and was told he'd never be able to work as a cop again. But then he got rehired by the same sheriff as a deputy. And then he does this. He quit within like a week or 2 of this happening and went and got hired with the city police department in the same fucking town. That's the fucking problem.
Left to avoid hitting Nelson, but that obviously it would not have achieved my goal of trying to get to the front of the Home Depot. It would have meant that I would have driven across a row of parking spaces, which probably they would be charging me with a traffic violation if I had done that. But that never even entered my calculation because I did not know that Nelson was in front of me until it was too late to stop. I was focused on Jay Palmer, who was behind me. I didn't know it was Jay Palmer. I thought Nelson was still behind me. There was so much chaos and confusion. I had no clue that Nelson had pulled in front of me. But he did. And they're asking me to make a split-second reaction to swerve to the left and avoid him. I could not have done that. Nelson caused the crash.
250.
And not only that, but in this never-before-heard audio clip, we can actually hear Nelson admitting that he rammed Freeman's vehicle.
After 35 dispatch, we just ram our vehicle.
But for the sake of argument, let's go back and assume that Freeman did intentionally cause the crash in self-defense. Even if he did, that would be legal. OCGA 16.321 says, a person is justified in threatening or using force against another when, as to the extent that he or she reasonably believes that such threat or force is necessary to defend himself or herself or a third person against such others' imminent use of unlawful force. Well, Freeman is a person. He was defending himself and a third person against Donnie Nelson, who was using unlawful force, so the force should be justified. Suzanne has claimed that the force of the crash was disproportionate, in that Freeman's truck was a deadly weapon intended to kill Nelson. Now, obviously, that's wildly exaggerated, but for the sake of argument, let's consider whether or not Freeman was justified in using deadly force. The law continues. A person is justified in using force which is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm only if he or she reasonably believes that such force is necessary to prevent death or great bodily injury to himself or herself or a third person, or to prevent the commission.
And I'm not even going to dispute that. Maybe he could have turned the wheel left, but like he said, he didn't even know the cop had sped through the parking lot to get in front of him. But this kid is showing the law right now that if you are being chased or you are being threatened by unlawful force, we have the right to defend ourselves. And that's exactly what this man was doing. But 2 years after this shit happened, they're still trying to press false charges on him. First of all, the sheriff said that the guy threatened him and cussed at him inside Home Depot. Every witness said there was no threat made. His exact words was, "I can't believe you serve scum like that in here," talking about the deputy, because he already knew that he was a dirty fucking cop. And that's all he said to piss him off. Then he tries to say he hit him with the truck. Lie number 2. Then he says he ran a stop sign, which he had no way to view if he ran that stop sign or not. And then they couldn't even make up their mind what fucking stop sign he ran, because the original stop sign they said he ran, there's not even a stop sign on that fucking road. Dude, it is fucking lie on top of fucking lie on top of fucking lie. Even if he did hit the fucking cruiser on purpose, they had no fucking right to be fucking chasing him like he had just robbed a fucking bank or fucking opened up fire on a fucking crowd. There was no reason for it. The man had not committed a fucking crime, period, bro. Period.
Of a forcible felony. So let's suppose for a minute that the crash was intentional and that it was intended to cause death or great bodily harm to Nelson. In that case, it would be justifiable because Nelson was actively committing a false arrest, which is a forcible felony. So even if, for the sake of argument, Freeman did intentionally crash the truck with the intent of killing Nelson, it would be justifiable self-defense under Georgia law.
You can only resist an unlawful stop with proportionate force.
And Suzanne is saying that this force is disproportionate, but how could Freeman have even used less force?
To your knowledge, did Deputy Nelson require any kind of medical treatment, ambulance, anything of that sort? Okay.
Nah, didn't get distance with a long rifle.
We don't believe in trying to stop people and attack them for no reason, only because they're anti-police team. That's what this is about.
And here's the response from Austin Greer, Georgia State Patrol. Greer responded from the south side of Habersham County. He traveled approximately 9.5 miles in 11 minutes and 37 seconds, meaning that his average rate of speed was over 100 miles per hour. Greer sustained speeds of 130 miles per hour for 30 seconds straight. Here's Greer running a red light. And Greer's actions were completely unnecessary. By the time Greer arrived, Nelson had long since crashed the truck, and 6 other officers had Freeman at gunpoint. Conventional wisdom tells us that we need strict enforcement of traffic laws to keep us safe. But in this case, the cure is worse than the disease. Here, Nelson abused the traffic laws to punish a political opponent, and the police turned a harmless situation into a danger for everyone. This case drew officers from across Stevens, Habersham, and Franklin counties, and they, not Freeman, created a danger for hundreds of people. Is all of that worthwhile? Do we want to give police excuses to punish innocent speech activity? Is it worth it to have multiple cars weaving lanes, running red lights, driving at insane speeds, and intentionally crashing cars to catch a guy who supposedly ran a stop sign?
I had no expectation of surviving this encounter whatsoever. The moment the crash happened, I believed that I would die, and everyone here saw just how quickly Jake Palmer and Donnie Nelson.
Why can't the fucking cops quit harassing people, bro? Why can't we punish cops when they break the fucking law? They can DUI and they don't go to jail. They can fucking kill people and they don't go to jail. They can shoot people in the back and they don't go to jail. You answer those questions, and then we wouldn't have the problem you're asking me about, bro. If cops would do what they fucking took a fucking oath to do, then there wouldn't be half the fucking problem of people bitching about police is what we have. But this shit never fucking stops, bro. We have freedom of fucking speech, and that's what the cops keep fucking forgetting. There's a goddamn Constitution, bro, and we are protected by that goddamn Constitution. And the first fucking amendment on that Constitution says that we have freedom of fucking speech. And it was already upheld by the federal fucking, the big court, what the fuck is Supreme Court, federal U.S. Supreme Court, already fucking upheld that our freedom of speech is protected. Now, if someone's calling a black officer an N-word, dude, you do what you got to do to him. I didn't see shit, all right? But when someone is not being racist or a fucking sexist, or if they're just speaking facts and they're talking trash about a person that is fucking trash, then that's freedom of fucking speech, man. But these cops keep forgetting that we're protected by freedom of speech, especially when they have crooked ass fucking prosecutors like Suzanne Boykin fucking backing them, and crooked ass judges that she's got backing her, that drags this shit out for 2 years when there's fucking so much fucking video evidence that says that fucking Nelson had no fucking reason whatsoever to go after this man in the fucking first place. But he's still facing fucking charges. This shit's still being drug out by the fucking prosecutor because the whole fucking system is crooked, bro. The whole system is set up to fuck people as much as they can possibly fucking do it. Because he knows he would have been arrested if he stopped out on the fucking highway, and then they would have called CPS to come and get his fucking kid. We're not fucking stupid, man. We're not fucking stupid. If he would have stopped out on the fucking highway for this fucking cop, he might have got shot because nobody would have seen it. But guaranteed he would have went to fucking jail for obstruction of justice or failure to ID, or he would have made something up. He would have touched his arm and he would have got him for assault on an officer. Guaranteed Nelson was going to fucking arrest him no matter fucking what. So he wanted to be somewhere where they had witnesses. So he took Nelson on a little cruise at 18 miles an hour, average speed, 18 miles an hour. Meanwhile, we got cops coming from 3 different fucking districts driving 100 miles an hour through the fucking public. 3 people running a fucking code. There's way more than 3 fucking cops. 3 different fucking districts driving over 100 fucking miles an hour through traffic, running a code red because this motherfucker got butthurt because he was called scum. And if you look at his fucking record, he is exactly that. He is fucking scum. He is the scum of the fucking earth, and he never, ever should have had a badge on. But now he's wearing his 3rd fucking badge. And as soon as this shit dropped, the city wanted him fired. But as far as I know, it ain't happened yet. And if it did, I guarantee they gave him the option to resign first. That way he can go somewhere else and keep doing the same fucking shit. They earned the fucking hate, bro. They are earning the fucking hate every fucking day. When they stop someone for walking down the sidewalk because they look suspect, or every time they fucking pull a fucking car over, even if they didn't commit a traffic violation. I smell weed in the car. I need you to step outside and put these handcuffs on. You're being detained for your protection and our protection. Dude, it's a constant fucking line of bullshit, man. People are getting stopped that are fucking innocent. People are getting arrested for DUIs that haven't even drank, bro. People that are completely fucking sober. Tennessee just got completely fucking busted, dude. They had a big old DUI checkpoint running, and they were throwing people in jail left and fucking right that were fucking sober. Kentucky's doing it. Tennessee's doing it. Georgia's doing it. Florida's doing it. It's all over the fucking country, bro. These people were proven beyond a shadow of a fucking doubt they had no toxins in their fucking system, including alcohol, but they're being arrested for a fucking DUI. so that they can search their fucking car, impound their fucking car, hit them with some fucking fines, drag them through fucking court, make them sit in jail for a while. Maybe they'll lose their fucking job. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous in this fucking country, bro. He didn't run from shit, bro. This kid, this fucking kid just showed you the fucking law that we have the right to defend ourselves against all unlawful fucking arrests. He wasn't running from a fucking cop because he committed a crime. He was running from a psychopath with a fucking gun and power. That's all these motherfuckers are, is psychopaths with fucking power, bro. And that's what the fuck this man was running for, because he was fearing for his life and his fucking son, because he doesn't trust this motherfucker, and he had every fucking reason not to trust this motherfucker.
Pulled their guns out. My concern was to ensure that there was enough evidence created so that after my death, Nelson would be charged with murder. I called the 911 office because I knew that the police would try to cover up the evidence, as indeed they have. And thankfully, the 911 office recorded the call so that they could hear what I had to say.
There are at least 6 officers pointing guns at me right now.
Okay.
I was at Home Depot. I made a statement that was in opposition to the police. I walked out to my car. I got into my car and tried to leave. A police officer who was in the Home Depot, he is a black male. He has a bald head. He has his glasses on top of his head. He was pointing a gun at my face right now. Came out and got my license plate number while I was pulling out and leaving. He then started to follow my vehicle and license plate number while I was pulling out and leaving.
I'm going to say this a few times. This is what initiated the fucking stop. This is where the cop said that he tried to run over him in the parking lot. The red truck.
While I was pulling out and leaving. He then
the red truck backing out of the parking spot. The police officer is the first person this side of that vehicle. This is what started this fucking shit. He said that he tried to run over him in his fucking truck.
He then started to fall out and got my
He said that 100 fucking times in this video.
He then
that he tried to run over him in his fucking truck. He was nowhere near him when he backed out.
And got my license plate number.
Nowhere fucking near him.
He then started to follow my vehicle, and he initiated.
And the whole video fucking proves that it's just a fucking lie on top of fucking lie on top of fucking lie, bro.
Comply with the officers, okay?
The officers, listen to me. The officers made an unlawful stop. I am not obligated to respond to unlawful orders. This is clearly an intentional attack on me and my child because we express anti-police sentiment. And you.
So I guess your solution is we all be good little fucking Nazi-controlled fucking lab rats and just stay in our fucking house. Don't go shopping. Don't leave the house. Just order everything online because we're not free. We don't have freedom of speech. We don't have freedom to walk down the fucking sidewalk, and we don't have freedom to run from a psychopath with a fucking gun. Is that what you're telling me? So I should just, instead of doing what I'm doing, I should just put out videos telling everybody just stay in your fucking houses. Don't go out. Don't do anything, because if you piss off the cops or if you see something you don't like and you talk about it, they have the full legal right to make your life a living fucking hell, arrest you, slam you on the fucking ground, and beat the fuck out of you. So just stay in your houses, everybody. Don't go out. Don't do any fucking thing. That we're not a free country if that's the case, bro. There ain't nothing free about America. If that's what you're telling me. There's no fucking way, dude. There's no fucking way that this is justified. No fucking way. There's no way, man. The facts are fucking laid the fuck out there. But your brain has been fucking trained that you're supposed to, it's the fucking law. It's the fucking law. It's the fucking law. Well, half the laws these guys are fucking trying to put out ain't even real fucking laws, man. But y'all worried about the fucking law, but nobody's worried about the fucking Constitution. Nobody's worried about the fact that this man did absolutely nothing wrong, and he's afraid this motherfucker's going to kill him. because he knows if this motherfucker kills him, he's going to get away with it. Because that's what they fucking do. Period. There's too much fucking evidence. Bro, you keep saying that's what court is for. Not everybody has the time and the fucking money for that, bro. Not everybody can fucking do that. People have to go to work. They have to fucking be here. They have to be there. They don't have the fucking time and the money to fight the shit. So many people go and pay the fucking fine for a bullshit fucking charge, or they'll go to court and try to fight it, but they don't, their fucking public defender sucks, so they lose anyway, so then they end up paying the fine plus fucking court cost. Dude, the system doesn't fucking work, man. Fuck the courts. It's all fucking corrupt, dude. It's all out there to extort money from the fucking public. That's why a cop can write 100 fucking tickets and they all get dismissed and he doesn't get in trouble. The absolute fact remains that he just falsely accused 100 fucking people of things they didn't fucking do, but that's fine because he was trying to bring revenue into the fucking county. So that's just fine that they arrest people for DUI when they're not fucking drunk. Or search a person's car because they say they smell weed, and then they search the car and find absolutely fucking nothing. That shit's justified. No, it fucking ain't, bro. Fuck the courts, too. The courts are just as fuck. The courts are the reason this dude's still in fucking jail because they're just as fucking corrupt as the fucking cops are, man. Oh, dude, this is one of the worst ones I ever wrote where. And Alvin's still not understanding. He's still not understanding where I'm coming from with this. You know, no matter what, this guy was wrong, and now he's a bad parent because he's got his kid in the truck with him, and he's trying not to get killed by this fucking psychopath with fucking power and a fucking gun behind him.
You can now see exactly why we are.
He said all you have to do is step out and speak with them.
They started chasing me around Toccoa. I was driving slowly, looking for a place that I could pull over safely, where there could be witnesses to the attack on my liberty was taking place.
Sir.
Pulled into the Home Depot parking lot.
Fuck that 911 operator, too. That bitch needs to go to jail, too.
Unlawful stop. He is not obligated to respond to unlawful orders. He wants his lawyer.
10-4. Just end it so we can try to talk to him. Dispatch, if you're still on the phone, hang up the phone with him.
According to Freeman, he actually made contact with a lawyer while he was inside the truck.
He told me that if what I was saying was true, it was an unlawful arrest and that I had a right under Georgia law to resist an unlawful arrest. And he also said that if I believed that my life was in danger or if I believed that my son's life was in danger, I had a right to use lethal force to defend myself.
And while we can't otherwise confirm what was said, Freeman's cell phone call log shows at 10:13 a.m. a 2-minute and 26-second phone call with a prominent local lawyer, whose name we're withholding for now. Did you know it's legal to resist an unlawful arrest in Georgia? In 2020, the Georgia Supreme Court ruled in a case called Glenn versus the state that an unjustified arrest is just plain old kidnapping and that Georgians have a common law right to resist. So Freeman is charged with felony fleeing, but the court said in Glenn that man has a right to shun an illegal arrest by flight. The exercise of this right should not and would not subject him to being arrested. An officer cannot attempt an illegal arrest and then justify the attempt on the grounds that the person would not stand still but ran away. So if Nelson had no reason to make a traffic stop, in theory, it is legal to run away. And Georgians don't have to run because they have the right to fight. The court said in Glenn, an unlawful arrest is an assault that justifies the person in breaking away, resisting, and repelling force with force. That includes by destroying government property. So when police used their cars to box Freeman in theory, he had a right to destroy those cars to escape. He also had a right to fight the police after they pointed guns at him and his son. And what was Nelson planning to do if Freeman had complied? Nelson had his body cam and dash cam off, which suggests that he was planning to do something illegal and didn't want there to be a record. He's also on record lying to excuse doing violence to Freeman. and Nelson had a gun. It's reasonable to believe that if Freeman had pulled over, Nelson would have made false accusations to at least arrest both him and his son, and at worst could have killed them and lied to cover it up. It's also very reasonable to think that Freeman saved his life and his kid's life by trying to get to a place with witnesses and drawing other officers with cameras to the scene. Freeman's refusal to surrender after the crash may also have saved his life. If he had gotten out of the truck, police would have had a clean shot and might have taken it. Remember Daniel Shaver?
Hands straight up in the air. Do not put your hands down for any reason. You think you're going to fall, you better fall in your face. Your hands go back in the small of your back or down. We are going to shoot you. Do you understand me? Crawl towards me. Crawl towards me! Don't go!
But really, the whole question is backward. Asking why not just pull over, comply, and get kidnapped is like asking why not just let him rape you, or why not just give him all of your money, or why not just let police break into your house. False arrest is a felony. No one is obligated to just let asking why not just let him rape you, or why not just give him all of your money, or why not just let police asking why not just pull over, comply, and get kidnapped is like asking why not just let him rape you, or why not just give him all of your money, or why not just let police break into your house. False arrest is a felony. No one is obligated to quietly submit to a felony because it might make things easier. That would mean the end of the rule of law. A better question is, why
have to keep our fucking mouth shut, bro? You're telling me fuck the Constitution, fuck our First Amendment. Every time you say we shouldn't say nothing, you're telling us that you're saying fuck the First Amendment, right? Is that not an oath? Is that not part of the thing that a police officer takes an oath to protect? Is the Constitution and civil rights? If you know a cop is bad and you know a cop shouldn't be wearing a badge, you're free to say whatever the fuck you want. And once they take that fucking right away, we're in fucking Nazi Germany. Once we no longer have the freedom of speech, and once they take our guns away, we might as well be under Hitler. That's just fucking crazy that you're still thinking that way, bro. That's the whole fucking problem, man. All the cops are thinking that way. Fuck the First Amendment. I'm the fucking law. You will do what I tell you to do, whether it's lawful or not, whether you committed a crime or not, whether I have reasonable articulable suspicion or not. You're going to do what I tell you to do, and you're going to shut the fuck up when I tell you to shut the fuck up. Or is this America, or are we in Berlin, bro? That's blowing my fucking mind, man. But you're saying that the dude just should have kept his mouth shut. He's trying to stand up for the rights of every goddamn person in this country, including the people wearing a badge. It's still civil rights. We're trying to protect everybody's fucking civil rights. And we have the fucking right under fucking law to fucking avoid a fucking unlawful arrest, an unlawful fucking stop. There was nothing done, no fucking probable reason, no fucking crime. Absolutely nothing except this fucking cop got his fucking ego hurt. And now there's 3 departments holding an 11-year-old and his dad at fucking gunpoint. All fucking illegal, bro. But it's fine for cops to just do illegal shit all the time. But we're not allowed to exercise our actual fucking rights, right? Just because we're allowed to do something doesn't mean we should. And that you're still on the same thing, bro. It is our right to exercise that right. If we do not exercise that right, we will no longer have that fucking right. The reason I can say fuck on every fucking sentence that comes out of my mouth is part of my First Amendment fucking right, bro. Which means if I see a cop that is doing something he shouldn't be fucking doing. If he is harassing someone that has not committed a crime, I'm allowed to say any fucking thing I want to him. And then if he does something about it, we'll go to court. I'll file a civil lawsuit. Yeah, we'll go through court. That's not where it should fucking go, dude. The court shouldn't even be involved. They shouldn't have to keep dealing with this shit. But even half the time in the fucking courts, the courts still get it wrong and the innocent people go to fucking jail. Or they stay in jail for an extended period of time before they figure out that, well, they didn't actually commit a crime. They just pissed off the fucking cop that was harassing somebody else and making them step out of the vehicle for no reason. You know, it's blowing my mind, dude. That all you can say is we should just quit talking about the bad cops. We should quit pointing out that there's psychopaths with fucking badges. We should just quit pointing that out to the people, and we should just shut up about it and just let them be psychopaths. Let them keep killing people and getting away with it. Let them keep throwing people in jail that haven't done anything. Keep letting them ruin people's fucking lives that have not committed a fucking crime. That's what you're telling me. Dude, this guy is a fucking, he's like a he's a civil rights activist, dude. He's done this. And this whole story proves to you, because he's been all about exposing these motherfuckers. But when they pull this shit off and rack up all this fucking bullshit fucking charges with nothing but fucking lies from Mr. Nelson right there in the fucking screen holding his fucking 9mm on an 11-year-old child. It all started because he got fucking butthurt. That's all that fucking started this. And everybody fucking knows this. But Assistant Prosecutor Susan Boykin is still trying to even hold the charge that he tried to hit the officer with his fucking truck when the video has proven over and over and over and over that is a fucking lie. They couldn't decide what fucking stop sign they wanted to charge him with, because the road they said he ran a stop sign on doesn't even have a fucking stop sign. They don't have an actual fucking charge and proof of anything that this man did illegal, except for trying to find a place with witnesses so he didn't get killed by a fucking psychopath. And you're saying he just should have been quiet. He didn't threaten this fucking officer like the officer said he did. That was lie number one right there. Because he said that he fucking was cussing him and all kinds of shit. And the only fucking words that came out of the man's mouth was, I can't believe you serve scum like that in here. Because he already knew that this dude had been fired for beating people in the fucking jail. So when people get punched in the face while they're handcuffed behind their back, we're not supposed to say nothing. We're just supposed to just, oh, shit, he's just doing his job, man. He's just doing his job. It's all right. Just keep your mouth shut and that won't happen. Huh. That's a fucked up analogy, man. Right? Yeah. I mean, this video proves that the prosecutor is just as crooked as the sheriff. The fucking judge is just as crooked as the prosecutor. It doesn't fucking matter. The only way this man is going to win this is after they fucking try him here, and if they make anything stick, which I feel like they will. This place is too crooked. They've been dragging it out for 2 years already. I'm pretty convinced they're going to try to make something stick out of this. Once that does, he can take it to the fucking federal Supreme Court or whatever. If this is even state Supreme Court, he might be able to go through state. But either way, you know, maybe one of the higher up courts will fucking do it, but there's no reason for that, bro. Once any fucking sane person watch this fucking video, that dude right there would have went to jail that day. Any sane person that watched this fucking video the first time, the whole fucking thing, dude, Nelson would have went to jail that fucking day. And then each one of these other officers that do what they're about to fucking do would all go to jail with him. They would all be they would all be charged with endangering a child. They would all be fucking charged with fucking causing fucking panic, fucking whatever. Dude, they would every fucking person on this fucking scene would go to fucking jail by the fucking eyes of any fucking sane person, bro. Every fucking cop involved in this is just an absolute piece of fucking shit. Period.
Stop committing an unlawful arrest and leave these people alone. The only reason we have critical evidence like Freeman's 911 call and the newspaper accounts is because Freeman stalled long enough to call them. The evidence shows that the officers on the scene knew who Freeman was and took his prior anti-police statements into consideration before they breached the vehicle. Less than a year before this event, Trooper Greer pulled Freeman over for a mundane traffic stop on Highway 17. Freeman complied with the stop, and a mere 50 days before the Home Depot event, took the ticket to court and won. Mysteriously, the records in that case disappeared from the courthouse. So when Greer showed up at the Home Depot, he was looking for revenge.
I think I know who he is. He's definitely not law enforcement friendly, so I've dealt with him before. It's David Freeman. He lives on Silver Shoals Road here in Toccoa, yes, sir. I've dealt with him before. He's very, very uncompliant. He was compliant with me, like signed the ticket and everything like that, but like video recording and all that stuff, you know, thinks that he's above the law pretty much. So
after the 911 call, officers reestablished communications over the phone where there wouldn't be a public record. But less than 4 minutes before smashing the truck's windows, here's Ray Dean, Georgia State Patrol, promising to give Freeman a lawyer and negotiate a peaceful surrender.
We'll get you a lawyer. You need to come out quick, peacefully right now, okay? Okay, we'll get you a lawyer, but we need you to come out peacefully, okay?
Speaking of peacefully, here's Dean, casually planning to shoot Freeman in the back.
We only want one shot, obviously, okay?
In another clip, Dean tells other officers about his commitment to bring Freeman a lawyer.
Also a lawyer. And I don't mind, I don't want to put a lawyer in jeopardy, but if that's what's something that we can do to appease him, that's an easy one if y'all know somebody that can come here.
Ron Nesbitt, Toccoa PD, texted Freeman to ask who his lawyer is. Less than 2 minutes later, Freeman texted a response as Dean and Nesbitt helped breach the truck. Warning, graphic content. Police have claimed that they had no choice but to shoot Freeman with tasers because he attacked them first. But video shows otherwise. The video clearly shows that Freeman was holding his cell phone when officers smashed the truck window in his face, and that they pointed a taser within 2 seconds. Rather than attacking them, Freeman held his foot up defensively. Palmer fired the first shot, and then Trooper Greer, in blue, drew his taser.
Remember, talking about protecting his son from the fucking tasers from this fucking tired ass pig, bro.
Against an unlawful arrest. Yet again, police lied about what happened, pretending that they had to use tasers because they were attacked. Police claimed in the newspapers that immediately upon breaching the driver's side glass window, the male subject began punching and kicking officers as well as throwing glass at law enforcement. Let's watch the video of this kicking that was shown in court. Now, I'm no expert in martial arts, but I'm pretty sure the point of kicking is to hurt people by striking them with your foot. And this motion doesn't look like kicking. In fact, it kind of looks like Freeman is defending himself from these guys who are about to shoot him with tasers. That's not a kick, Suzanne.
That's your recollection?
Yes, it shows me not kicking him.
You didn't see your foot coming out of the window?
It showed him attempting to shoot me with a taser and me blocking it with my foot. That was clearly no threat to him, and I did not make contact with him.
Another thing out that window, he was trying to stop the fucking taser.
And then Freeman started taking glass and throwing it at Trooper Greer and started punching Trooper Greer in the face. Freeman was fighting, so Trooper Greer tased him. Greer agreed, saying, "Once you began punching and hitting us, I did deploy my taser." But the video shows that the police story is untrue and that the officers shot first. So clearly Freeman did not immediately begin attacking officers. In reality, they smashed glass in his face and immediately began shooting him with tasers and electrocuting him while he sent a text message and tried to block them with his foot. So what about Freeman's 11-year-old son? Whatever you think of Freeman, it's clear the kid didn't break the law. Regardless, video shows police holding him at gunpoint before smashing glass in his face, ripping him out of the truck, wrestling him to the ground, and putting him in a chokehold. In court, Austin Greer claimed that they had to do this because he was still fighting us, kicking and spitting and trying to bite us.
Go ahead, Alvin. Justify that shit, too. Go ahead. I'll wait. This motherfucker just put an 11-year-old kid in a fucking chokehold, dude. When no fucking crime has been committed, except for the boys wearing the fucking uniforms. The man did not commit a fucking crime. I'm tired of hearing this fucking just comply shit. When there was no fucking reason to comply to any fucking thing because he hadn't fucking done nothing. He could have called that fucking cop a teetotal worthless piece of shit. And he still had no fucking right to go after him whatsoever, bro. It's freedom of speech. It's freedom of fucking speech. The First fucking Amendment written by the forefathers of this fucking country, dude. Number one. It ain't the last one. It's the fucking first one, dude. This is all over him calling the cop what he fucking is. Fucking scum. Fuck your comply shit. Fuck your just do what you're told bullshit. This is absolute fucking tyranny, bro. From top to fucking bottom. 3 different fucking departments just committing absolute assault on 2 fucking innocent people, dude. Period. And they're getting away with it.
No, Greer, he wasn't. Cops just snatched him out and took him straight to the ground. After this, video shows him calmly standing with officers while they dragged his dad away. Here's Jake Palmer, Toccoa PD, savagely beating and tasing Freeman for making a political comment.
Put him that way, put him that way, put him that way. No, let's go continue. Y'all push. We're pushing these guys right here. Pull him that way. Here.
Here's another angle. Take a look at Georgia State Patrol Trooper Matthew Vandiver in blue on the left, just raining blows on Freeman even though he didn't commit any crime. Here's Brandy Robinson, laughing while Freeman was beaten and tased. After this, Vandiver puts Freeman in a punching chokehold for 49 seconds. Then, once Freeman is restrained, we've got video of the sheriff in his boots literally jumping up and down on Freeman's leg.
Does that fresh your recollection? It does. I think that proves absolutely that they are in fact scumbags, that the community needs to know how dangerous they are, and that my life was in danger. Thank you for demonstrating that for us. Everything that I did to
I don't give a fuck, bro. He obviously had good reason to talk shit about these fucking cops. They're proving everything he ever fucking said about them. He's proven that the whole fucking, they're all fucking dirty ass fucking pigs, bro. If you can justify this shit in your mind, then there's you I don't know, man. You need to find help. I mean, there's no fucking way that a person with human compassion, let alone you just keep ignoring the fucking fact, dude, that he didn't commit a crime. You just keep completely fucking blocking that out, that the man didn't do anything, man. I don't know how you keep ignoring that fact. The man did nothing wrong. He was fearing for his fucking life for good reason, obviously. He just got the fuck beat out of him. And he's about to ask the only question that matters, the one I've been preaching this whole fucking time. You'll hear him. What crime have I committed? What crime have I committed? What crime have I committed? He's under arrest, but nobody's told him what he's under arrest for. And they still don't tell him.
Protecting my son.
And Freeman had serious injuries. He had blood all over his face and the worst bruise on his back I've ever seen. He had a broken rib, and doctors had to surgically remove a chunk of glass from his elbow. Believe it or not, in sworn testimony, when Deputy Nelson was asked if Freeman had suffered any injuries, he said Freeman was injured from the airbag. Yeah, right. For this, Freeman was charged with 4 counts of violently obstructing officers, but the claims are highly suspect. The worst injury any officer received was Jake Palmer, who bruised his own knuckles, savagely beating Freeman in the back. After the beating, he tacitly admitted to another officer he'd caused his own injuries.
Did he break your knuckle?
No, well,
That guy in the clean blue shirt is Austin Greer. Clearly, he isn't injured at all, but in court, Nelson swore that Greer was so badly injured that he had blood on his shirt. He said in his testimony, "I remember he was bleeding because that light blue shirt had blood on it." And then there's this guy, Tim Kelly, who was on the opposite side of the truck, says that no one ever laid a finger on him. But Freeman is still charged with violently obstructing him. Yet again, basically every single claim the police have made about this case is completely untrue. They're trying to put an innocent man in prison because they beat him up.
I committed no crime. You know this. You know it.
You charged with many aggravated assaults. You understand that?
I'm saying if they can justify this in their mind, and they feel like the man driving that truck was the actual bad guy in this fucking video, then no, they're not a good cop, bro. And anybody that is not doesn't give a fuck about the Constitution, doesn't give a fuck about our freedom of speech, then that there's no way that could be a good cop, bro. There's no way. There is good cops out there. There is. And 90% of them, I believe, are scared to say anything about the tyrants that they work around because they're going to make their life a living hell if they try to stand up. Because y'all protected by that fucking qualified immunity bullshit, man. You get away with assaulting people, falsely arresting people, falsely charging people, fucking punching people, shooting people. I mean, all day, every fucking day, man. This man was not even armed, was not armed. He put nobody's life in jeopardy, but they was ready to take a pop shot with a long rifle. And it was clear that he had threatened nobody's life. He put no lives in danger driving 18 miles an hour. But you're telling me that the cops didn't put no lives in danger doing 100 miles an hour to get to this scene so that they could just literally beat the fuck out of this dude because he's anti-fucking police brutality. He's against bad fucking cops. He's against the corrupt ass fucking system of fucking tyrants. He's against that. Well, I hate to tell you, dude, but he ain't the only one, man. And it ain't just me and him neither. There's a whole bunch of people getting real tired of this shit, bro. A whole bunch of people getting real fucking tired of this bullshit, bro. I'm telling you. I'm just letting you know.
That you stupid idiot.
I understand nothing that you're saying.
Okay.
Your officer attempted to kidnap me. He had no reason to initiate a stop.
Sure. We got
You're
it.
helping him.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. We got it, buddy.
As thanks for his good behavior, Toccoa PD decided to put the innocent 11-year-old kid in handcuffs and take him to jail. And then, just to put some stink on it, they bashed his head on the police car on the way in. The kid faced no charges. Some stink on it, they bashed his head on the police car on the way in. And then, just to put some stink on it, they bashed his head on the police car on the way in. The kid faced, just to put some stink on it, they bashed his head on the police car on the way in. The kid faced no charges. Just like his dad, he had done nothing wrong. But the police decided to beat him up and take him to jail anyway. According to his mother, the police took him to the jail and questioned him without parents or a lawyer, and then refused to release him unless she answered their questions. She says police only let go of the kid after she threatened to call a lawyer. Clearly, the kid didn't deserve this. Why aren't the officers responsible facing charges for battering and kidnapping this kid? Here's video of Tim Kelly talking about how he threatened to arrest a bystander who took a cell phone video.
He's deleting this footage.
Mm-hmm. Oh, who was?
The old guy back there.
Oh,
That's not that 50, you know, that's $50,000 fine. That's 15 years in prison.
he didn't want to do that, did he?
No.
And finally, here's Nelson, burdened by a guilty conscience, apologizing to Austin Greer.
I apologize, Greer, man.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Hey, he's the idiot. So he's
having tactical problems over here. Yeah, and he just told on body camera, he just admitted that he told someone, a bystander that was recording with their phone, told them that they had to delete that footage or it was a $50,000 fine. He just violated someone else's First Amendment that had nothing to do with it. Right there. And that was a whole different cop. That wasn't even fucking Nelson that started all this shit. That was a whole different cop. Just made up some bullshit. Just flat fucking lied right there and said that it's $50,000 fine for recording police interaction when it is protected by the First Amendment and already fucking verified by the U.S. Supreme Court. Makes no sense, dude. You're not making any sense, man. You justifying this shit is just blowing my fucking mind, to be honest with you. It's upsetting my stomach a little bit. It's making me sick that I actually care about someone. And I do, brother. I really do. You know I love you. But the fact that you can justify this is absolutely fucking mind-blowing to me, man. It's making me feel sick. I'm not gonna lie to you. The fact that you just don't see anything wrong here. It's unfathomable, or whatever that fucking word is to me, man. I can't process how any human, let alone someone that someone sworn to protect our Constitution and protect people. And I don't understand how
And
where how that
not
thought process works, man. I don't understand it.
rationale for granting the warrant references nothing except for the text of Nelson's police report, copied and pasted verbatim, spelling and grammatical errors and
Dude,
all.
that's all this was.
Mentioned,
All this was Nelson wanted to fuck with somebody, man. Because dude spoke the fucking truth. That's all it was. He fucking exercised his freedom of speech, and Nelson decided to fuck with him. And that Nelson deciding to fuck with him ends up with him on the fucking ground, getting beat the fuck beat out of him, tasered, everything in his fucking truck, son put in fucking danger because the cop's fucking feelings got hurt, dude. So is everybody else allowed to do that too? There's a question for you. So say it's me. Say I'm shopping at Home Depot. And I'm not even going to say a cop, just some random person, somebody from my past, a friend that tried to contact me the other day and I don't want nothing to do with his ass. Say they're in there and he says, well, you're a piece of shit. So I'm allowed to just run out in the parking lot and just stomp a mud hole in his fucking ass, right? I'm allowed to go out there, pull out the taser, bust his fucking window, drag him out of his fucking car, put his kid in a chokehold. I'm allowed to do all that. Is that what you're telling me? If that's not the case, then something's wrong here, bro. Just saying. That's absolutely what started this whole thing. Because he said one word, scum, which was obviously this video proved that Deputy Nelson is straight fucking scum. He's the scum of the fucking earth. There's no doubt about it. And just to fuck with him and abuse his fucking power, he does what he's doing right now. And 2 years later, this man is still fighting this bullshit. When from the very fucking start, there's evidence on top of evidence on top of evidence, video evidence, fucking body cams from the shit the cops were fucking saying. There was no fucking crime committed. But the shit's still going. Because even the fucking courts are fucking crooked.
The investigators did not have the Home Depot security footage until a few days later. So apparently, anything an officer writes in a police report is sufficient for a judge to issue a warrant. And I say a judge because we don't even know what judge issued the warrants in the Home Depot case, or if any did at all. The warrants we received from the district attorney's office have no names or signatures on them. Also interesting, the police did not seek a warrant for Elder Freeman's supposedly disorderly conduct in the Home Depot until 10 days after his simple assault warrant. Several days after investigators received definitive video evidence proving Freeman's innocence of simple assault. This could suggest that someone intentionally invented the false disorderly conduct charge to justify the stop because they knew their original rationale could not hold water. Unfortunately, the court's documentation is so sloppy, we don't even know who applied for the warrant. Meanwhile, then Sheriff Randy Shirley started a public relations blitz to cover up the scandal. Shirley gave a press release to the major news outlets, which uncritically published his accounts. But our review of the original report published in the Toccoa Record shows that over half of it was false. Of course, Shirley didn't report anything that could make the police look bad. Most of what Shirley gave to the newspapers was Donnie Nelson's account of events, and obviously, Nelson had motivations to lie. The account he gave to the sheriff differs significantly from his own police report. But Shirley passed the account along, defaming Freeman while shielding Nelson from criticism by withholding his name. The Toccoa Record also published a statement from Freeman, but it was a partial statement. Freeman spent his final moments of freedom leaving a voicemail for Matthew Osborne, then editor of the Northeast Georgian. But critically, the newspapers did not report anything that Freeman said that contradicted the police account. For example, Freeman said,
"He knows absolutely that I didn't commit a crime. They all know that. So I pulled back into the Home Depot parking lot, hoping that I could be in a place where there would be witnesses to what's happening. The police crashed my truck."
And worse, while he was in the truck, Freeman actually texted Matthew Osborne the cell phone video of the low-speed chase, definitively disproving Nelson's claims. So the Northeast Georgian and Toccoa Record knew, or should have known, that Shirley's story was false. But they covered up the evidence and only published quotes from Freeman where they tended to agree with the police. Meanwhile, Freeman was sitting in jail, unable to communicate with the outside world. And the accusations in the case are serious. Freeman spent 6 months in jail before being released on bond in December of 2024 to await trial. But he's facing much longer behind bars than that. When you add it all up, if Freeman is convicted, he's facing a minimum of 10 years and a maximum of 52 years behind bars. At 41 years old, Freeman has only a 36-year life expectancy, so anything more than that is effectively life in prison. 2 months after the Home Depot, in August of 2024, Nelson was given a written reprimand for yet more instances of not using his body camera. That same day, he signed a resignation letter on the sheriff's letterhead. And Nelson isn't the only Home Depot officer who resigned in 2024. There were 13 officers at the Home Depot when an innocent man was held at gunpoint, beaten, and arrested. Within 6 months, several of them had resigned. First, Nelson was disciplined and resigned. Thereafter, Nelson's direct supervisor, Tim Hill, resigned, and his supervisor, Kyle R. Jameson, resigned, and his supervisor, Sheriff Randy Shirley, retired. Tim Kelly, Toccoa PD, also resigned. That's 5 out of 13 resigned within 6 months. Toccoa Police Chief Jimmy Mize suddenly resigned without explanation on Nelson's last day on the job. 1 day after Donnie Nelson's personnel file was released, Tan Caudell, the judge who had ordered Freeman held without bond, reinstated his bond, and then he resigned only a few weeks later. Since the news with Mr. Pipsqueak broke this story, Ron Nesbitt, Nicholas Movero, and Jake Palmer are also no longer employed with their respective agencies. In fact, according to Toccoa City Attorney Jay Doss, as of May 13th, 2026, Jake Palmer and Tim Kelly are under investigation by the Georgia Peace Officers Standards and Training Council. For now, Details are limited because their personnel files are not available for public disclosure as a result of the investigation. These people aren't heroes. They're not even model citizens. They're just whatever trash will accept a paycheck to blindly follow orders. Even Billy Owenby, the Home Depot employee who witnessed the backup, is a former bad cop. His file says he was hired as a jailer in Habersham County despite having once been arrested for stealing from Ingalls. He worked as a guard for a little over a year, received poor performance reviews, and then got fired for putting an inmate in a chokehold. I wouldn't trust any of these people farther.
This dude got hired as a cop after he'd been convicted of theft. And then after that, he got hired by Home Depot. How does that even fucking happen? I mean, Home Depot is way lesser than a cop being given a job after being convicted of theft. But no fucking store is supposed to hire anybody like that. But this happened. And then this dude was the witness, this ex-bad cop, just like fucking Nelson. He's the one out in the parking lot when this shit goes down. So he's like, oh yeah, he almost hit him with the truck, even though the video clearly shows it was a fucking lie from the get-go, man.
Than I could throw them, but somehow Toccoa for a year received poor performance reviews and then got fired for putting an inmate in a chokehold. I wouldn't trust any of these people farther than I could throw them, but somehow, on their word alone, we're talking about throwing productive citizens in prison for life. At first, officer resignation.
No, what he set out to do did not work, sir. No, it did not. Even if he gets $1 million, even if he does get it, it's going to be a long ass fucking fight if he ever sees money out of this, since the charges against him are still pending, even though they're all bullshit. But no, he still did not get what he was after, and justice will still not be served because every one of those motherfuckers resigned. None of them were fired. Nobody got terminated, so nobody got fucking decertified, which means every fucking one of them could go somewhere else and get a job, just like Nelson already fucking did. He quit, went down the road to the city cops and got re-fucking hired. Every one of them were allowed to resign. Once, and you already fucking know how that goes, dude. When you resign on your own, your records stay fucking locked away. But if you are fired, your shit becomes public. So it doesn't matter how much bad shit you've done, as long as you quit, you can go somewhere else and keep being a dirty pig. And that's exactly what just happened with every one of those motherfuckers that he just named off.
Might seem like a big victory, but they aren't the end of the story. On February 6, 2025, only 4 months after his resignation, Toccoa PD rehired Nelson as a city cop. Nelson falsely claimed on his job application that he had never been reprimanded for not performing his job properly and had never resigned for any disciplinary reasons. So apparently, the penalty for attacking innocent kids and pointing guns and being repeatedly disciplined for turning the cameras off to cover your tracks is that you trade a tan county uniform for a Navy City uniform and keep right on policing. On March 17th, 2025, before I started covering the scandal, I went with my mom to meet with the Toccoa Record reporter Todd Truelove and editor Michael O'Hearn, who were responsible for the original news story. We brought audio and video clips disproving 10 misstatements of material facts that had been published in the newspaper and asked them to run a correction. Here's what Todd Truelove said.
You can't do that because that was what the police were saying.
And the correction never came. In response, I started reporting on YouTube. Since the news of Mr. Pipsqueak broke the story, we've contacted all the local news organizations. As far as we know, none of them have made corrections. This is one of the reasons that so many people in the South are uncritically trusting of the police. Their local news media never tells them anything otherwise. Despite his abuse, Randy Leg Stomper Shirley retired to accolades from all corners of the media. News outlets reported when Police Chief Jimmy Mize suddenly resigned, but not a single news outlet tried to figure out why. Georgia's fallen into a police state right under the people's noses because the local media, who are supposed to be our watchdog, have gone to sleep. What you need to know is that the local papers are often willing propaganda. They'll unquestionably publish anything the local government tells them and will intentionally cover up undisputable proof that the police are lying. You can't trust them. While I was running this shocking footage of the beatdown, the Toccoa Record ignored the story for 16 weeks until they could ignore it no more. On July 2nd, Assistant DA Suzanne Boykin, the unelected bureaucrat prosecuting Freeman's case, met with Freeman's lawyer Brock Johnson to discuss. A handful of protesters gathered outside while the lawyers met in hopes that Boykin would do the right thing by dismissing the charges.
I think it's a blatant issue of police retaliation, as seen here. And I don't think if it goes to trial that anything will stand. So I think it would be foolishness to continue pursuing it.
In response to the protest, the Toccoa Record ran this article. An article that says nothing about the evidence in the case and still covers up Dondi Nelson's name. In the end, the protesters were disappointed. Boykin said she would not drop a single charge. Even after watching the video, Boykin insisted that this is an attempt to back a truck up over a police officer, despite the fact that every person of sound mind can see otherwise. She knows just as well as you do that this charge is false, but she is intentionally bringing it anyway. Why? Because she knows that if Freeman didn't attempt to back his truck over Nelson, then there's no probable cause for the stop. And if there's no probable cause for the stop, then Freeman had a right to resist and everything else falls apart. And then the county would have to pay for their own foolish decisions. Foolish decisions like keeping Nelson on the force and attacking political opponents and intentionally crashing police cars and beating up innocent people. As always, government workers won't take responsibility for their actions. Instead, they're making a conscious effort to put a man whom they know to be innocent in prison for life. The public outcry after that meeting was explosive.
This is excessive. This behavior is excessive.
Officer Dondi Nelson lied many times, as you can now see from videos.
Enough is enough. We, the people, matter.
So many people made so many negative comments on Toccoa PD's Facebook page that they chose to shut down commenting entirely. A few weeks later, on July 28, 2025, Freeman supporters had gathered over 1,400 signatures demanding that the city of Toccoa fire Dondi Nelson. A thunderstorm knocked the power out that evening, but that didn't stop the commission from meeting, and nothing could stop Freeman supporters from delivering the petition.
It just made me sick to my stomach when I seen these videos. I normally don't come to meetings like this. I no need to. You guys normally do a good job. When you overlook something like this, now that you know he lied on his application, I just don't see how he can stay employed. If his dad's sending this man out on the street with a gun, a badge, the authority to, do whatever he wants to do, basically.
The fact that Nelson had been disciplined and made to resign from the sheriff's office, but had then lied on his job application to get rehired with the city was undeniable. And the Freeman team also put the city on notice that Nelson's dishonesty on his job application may itself have been a felony. OCGA 161020 says, a person who makes or uses any false writing or document, knowing the same to contain any false statement in any matter within the jurisdiction of any department of the government of any city of this state shall, upon conviction thereof, be punished by a fine of not more than $1,000 or by imprisonment for less than 1 nor more than 5 years, or both. And that's just Nelson's job application. When we start looking at what happened in the Home Depot parking lot, the consequences for police should be serious. 18 U.S.C. 242 says, whoever, under color of any law, willfully subjects any person to the deprivation of any rights shall be fined under this title or imprisoned, or if such acts include kidnapping or any attempts to kidnap, or an attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years or for life, or both, or may be sentenced to death.
We've done no wrong and you know it. This is a kidnapping.
Georgia law also prescribes the death penalty for injuring a child in the course of a kidnapping. But somehow, Nelson didn't end up behind bars. Instead, he was allowed to hand in his resignation letter. Nelson said he enjoyed working as a police.
That's exactly what I'm talking about right there, dude. This will not be justice unless that motherfucker goes to jail, bro. Because anybody not wearing a fucking badge does this shit. Because it was completely unlawful. Everything about it was a fucking lie, bro. Every fucking thing these cops and this fucking prosecutor has said has been a fucking lie. There's evidence beyond. I mean, it's just there's no way to fucking deny it that he had no reason to pull him over. And this guy knew how dirty these fucking cops was. He knows. That's the reason he does what he does. So he had absolute every reason to fear for his life and his child to get to a place where he felt safer. And it still didn't make his child safe. His child still got put in a fucking guillotine by this same fucking cop that just committed another fucking felony after he kidnapped and illegally detained and abused an 11-year-old child. Those were all felonies, by the way, that he didn't get charged with. And then he turns around and lies on his application for the Tacoma Police Department, which is another fucking felony, punishable by jail time. But I guarantee his shit's still fucking intact. His retirement's still intact. I almost guarantee it, dude. These motherfuckers don't get fired. They don't get decertified. They don't get their fucking assets liquidated. They don't get to go to fucking jail. Nothing. None of that shit, bro. None of that shit. Because of the fucking qualified immunity bullshit, bro. This all started because the man exercised his freedom of speech. He did not commit a crime. He had absolutely no fucking reason to comply with any goddamn orders from a fucking person in fucking uniform. He had no reason whatsoever to comply with unlawful fucking orders and an unlawful fucking stop and an unlawful fucking arrest. He had zero fucking reason to comply with any of it. Because there was no fucking crime, bro. He did nothing to start this. He did nothing but exercise his freedom of speech, First Amendment fucking right. He did nothing illegal. And you just keep missing that point somehow with this comply shit and just do what you're told. And he should have pulled over. Yeah, he should have pulled over on the highway where there was no witnesses so he could get shot in the fucking face by this motherfucker. Yeah, okay. That's not happening. Nobody in their fucking right mind would stop out there where there's no witnesses around, knowing why this cop is fucking coming after you. And they already didn't like him. They showed the one from a year before that when they pulled him over, and he got that he beat that too because it was another false fucking ticket. They pulled him over with no probable cause, cited him for some bullshit, and he fucking beat it in court because it was a false fucking arrest. It was another fucking lie by this same fucking sheriff's department, man. Or highway patrol or whoever the fuck was there. There was 3 different fucking departments on the fucking scene, dude. And they were all, nobody asked the question, what did this man do? What did this man do? And when they did, after they had him beat up and in cuffs, and then Officer Nelson, Deputy Nelson, decided, oh yeah, he tried to run over me with his truck. Dude, as soon as that video fucking came out, the man should have been released from fucking jail and the lawsuit should have been filed and Nelson should have been in fucking jail. Every other fucking officer there should have been fucking fired and fucking retirement liquidated on the fucking spot, dude. But anybody that justifies this shit, I don't know what kind of fucking training cops go through. I don't know what kind of fucking shit that they put in their heads. But it is completely fucking inhumane, dude. It's fucking inhumane. The police forces are turning into fucking Nazi soldiers, bro. We are slowly turning into Nazi Germany. People can't safely walk down the fucking street without being stopped and harassed by fucking cops. They can't go to the fucking store and get some candy bars without getting stopped by the fucking cops. They can't exercise their right of freedom of speech without being stopped by the fucking cops. And this is just fine for you. This is fine for all law enforcement. They don't fucking care. So, I mean, if this man had an important job, he didn't have it after he spent all this time in jail when he never committed a fucking crime. He didn't know it was going to get worse, dude. I guarantee you it would have been 10 times worse out there on the fucking highway with nobody around. Because like even this fucking kid said, man, Nelson would have fucking probably shot him out there on the fucking highway. And he'd have got away with it because that's what cops fucking do. They get away with fucking murder. They shoot unarmed people almost fucking daily. and get away with it. They tase people that don't have warrants. They go into houses that don't have a fucking warrant for. They harass people on their own fucking front porch. They'll beat on somebody's door for 20 fucking minutes after they've been told you're trespassing. Get the fuck off my property. And yes, that is law, bro. We are protected. That's Fourth Amendment. Fourth and Fifth Amendment. We're protected inside our fucking house. If a cop doesn't have a fucking warrant and we tell them to get the fuck off of our property, they have to get the fuck off our property. That is the fucking law. Come back with a fucking warrant. You know, you do know that part, right? Because I've seen an awful lot of videos of cops that do not know that people are protected inside their own home when they do not have a fucking warrant to enter that fucking home. You know, they keep forgetting that. Dude, like I said, I'm not saying they all fucking do it, but it is happening every single fucking day. The average of people's rights being violated, being told that they can't speak or being arrested or harassed because they said something, the freedom of speech, or fucking people being harassed on their own property when they tell the cops to leave. This shit happens. Our fucking rights get violated on an average. Somebody gets violated every 3 minutes, bro. Every 3 minutes in the United States of America. That's every fucking 180 seconds. Someone's rights are violated by a fucking police officer somewhere in this fucking country. Now they're putting up these fucking flock cameras so they can track every fucking thing we do. And the only thing they're using the flock cameras for is they keep stopping people hauling weed down a highway in Arkansas. They keep getting bags of weed off these fucking rental cars going down a highway in Arkansas. It's fucking weed, bro. I don't give a fuck about the fucking law. Why are y'all still fucking stopping people with fucking a plant? Don't give me that just doing our job shit. Why the fuck y'all still stopping people with a fucking plant? Why y'all still ruining people's fucking lives over a fucking plant in any fucking state? You know what I'm saying? And I just showed a video the other day, dude. It was a fucking illegal traffic stop from the get-go. The woman did not commit a fucking traffic violation. 0 traffic violations. Even the cop admitted on his fucking body cam she did not commit a traffic violation. She was suspect because he thought she was avoiding him. Well, of course she was avoiding him because this is what happens. He pulls her over anyway, even though she didn't do any fucking thing wrong. He pulls her over anyway. After he spotlights her fucking rearview mirror and blinds her, he turns his lights on. She was suspicious, driving suspicious. Then, after that illegal, unlawful stop, he also proceeds to violate the passenger's fucking rights and tries to force a fucking ID from the passenger, which you should also know is fucking illegal. So, but he tries to get the fucking ID from the passenger. The passenger doesn't want to give up. Well, while this is happening, while he's talking shit to the driver of this car that did not even commit a traffic violation, I'll keep reminding that. While he's talking to her, there is gunshots, bro. You can hear the gunshots on his fucking body cam. Instead of leaving this innocent person alone that he just pulled over for absolutely no reason and going to investigate the gunshots where a crime might have actually happened, no, he calls, hey, there's some gunshots over toward the west, blah, 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 blah. Somebody want to check that out? That's what he does. He calls on the radio and sends somebody else to investigate the gunshots while he continues to harass this driver that has not committed a single fucking violation, not a single traffic violation, not a single crime, nothing. But he would rather stand there and detain her unlawfully than go check out where the gunshots just came from. I mean, come the fuck on, dude. All right, relax. They bring the hate on themselves, bro. I understand. This ain't going to be for everybody, but I got to do what I got to do, man. And it's not just America, even. As bad as it is here, it's not just here, man. There's videos coming in from Canada now. Fucking all over. It's just fucking ridiculous. The government is trying to make us more fucking slave than we ever fucking have been. And it's just ridiculous.
Police officer, but it's now time to explore other employment options. And Nelson isn't the only one who went right back to work bullying the people of Stevens County. Tim Hill bounced around for a while before he ended up working for the city of Toccoa in code enforcement. Instead of doing their jobs by bringing charges against these corrupt officers, the new Toccoa Police Chief Bruce Carlisle and the new Sheriff Rusty Fulbright have been deflecting responsibility and making feeble attempts at healing public relations.
It would be irresponsible for me to talk about anything about any instance that occurred before I became the police chief. And I understand that you have to rebuild that trust with the community, and that's what we have done diligently. Just this week, we had an event called Pizza with a Popo, where we gave out about 30 pizzas where people come in, and those type of things we've done. We have to get in front of things when they come out, when incidents do occur. And look, none of us are perfect. We know we make mistakes. We know we miss the mark. And when we do that, we need to get out in front of it. We need to let the community know, hey, we missed the mark on this one. That's why we depend on our local media. We got a great working relationship with our local media. Our social media is a great way of getting those type of things out.
Communication and community involvement. That's what it's all about, to build that trust. And I think that's better to get out in front of it and let the people know that this is what we're doing, this is what's going on. Because if we don't, Facebook's going to. They're going to add what they think is happening. And it's going to be the furthest thing from the truth. And then everybody on Facebook is going to believe that is the gospel.
Meanwhile, there are problems with the evidence in the case. There were 13 officers at the Home Depot event. Right now, Toccoa PD has released all of their videos, but the Georgia State Patrol has only released Austin Greer's video. They're still withholding videos from Ray Dean and Matthew Vandiver, which could be critical to the case. Even worse, the new Stevens County Sheriff, Rusty Fulbright, is withholding all of the video recordings in the case. So while he wants to sweep this under the rug and blame his predecessors, it appears that he is currently helping in the cover-up. For the next 5 months, the case was repeatedly delayed for weather, for paperwork errors, and for sickness, until finally, on March 17th, 2026, Superior Court Judge Carlton H. Jones III held a hearing in the case to determine whether or not Freeman would be immune from prosecution on the grounds that he was lawfully acting in self-defense. After hearing testimony in the case, our viewers chimed in. A combined total of 97% of respondents said that they would prefer to see Don D. Nelson, the accuser, go to prison rather than Elder Freeman, the accused. And 90% of respondents would rather see Suzanne Boykin go to prison just for bringing this case into court. In stark contrast, only 1% of respondents want to see Elder Freeman go to prison. Even local law enforcement were expressing reservations about the case.
I'm not really sure why, but they're going on with the prosecution.
What was said was true. I mean, yeah, I think everything will get cleared.
But Judge Jones ruled against Freeman.
I'm going to deny the motion for immunity, and I have listened to the arguments, and I'm trying to view this in a light most favorable to Mr. Freeman, looking at his vantage point. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, it was an unlawful arrest. There is a long line of cases that say the defendant's commission of a new crime in the presence of law enforcement is an intervening act of free will that purges the taint of any prior illegality.
So here's what Judge Jones seems to be saying. Sure, Nelson was wrong to try and arrest Freeman for talking. And yeah, he was wrong to try and arrest Freeman for not actually backing over him. But if Freeman did something illegal in that missing 1 minute and 33 seconds, then none of that matters, because this new mysterious crime that no witnesses alleged would justify Nelson to pull Freeman over. So the case went to the Court of Appeals, where Suzanne Boykin defended the judge's decision by telling outright lies. Her response contains several claims that are directly contrary to evidence that was presented in court. So before we get to the decision, let's take a look at Suzanne Boykin's 5 most obvious lies. Lie number 1. Boykin wrote, petitioner began backing his truck up while Deputy Nelson was behind him. You've seen the video. Suzanne's seen the video. Everyone's seen the video. Donnie Nelson was not behind Freeman's truck when Freeman backed out of the parking space.
Nelson was not behind my vehicle, and my vehicle never went in Nelson's direction. You know that.
Line number 2. Boykin wrote, Deputy Nelson observed
What up, mean beans?
petitioner failed to stop at a stop sign. No evidence presented in the hearing suggested that Freeman had run the stop sign prior to Nelson turning his blue lights on. Boykin made that claim in court, but Nelson didn't take the stand to testify to it. Freeman flatly denied the claim, so the evidence presented in the hearing shows that Freeman did not run the stop sign.
There's a street called Memorial, and there's a stop sign there exiting the Home Depot parking lot, and I can tell you for certain that I did stop there.
Line number 3. Boykin wrote, petitioner began his flight without knowing the reason for the initial stop. Come on, Suzanne! Everyone knows why Nelson stopped Freeman. Here's Nelson literally running to his patrol car to chase Freeman down when nothing had happened except for speech. Nelson admitted that this was because of speech.
All it is, I came out of freaking Home Depot. I walked in Home Depot.
10-4, just hang up so you can quit yelling. Maybe you can hear me.
I did not hear profanity.
No threats, though.
Not that I'm aware of.
Suzanne Boykin herself formally charged Freeman with speech crimes, but now she's saying he did not consider that the stop could be made for other reasons, such as failing to stop at a stop sign, for assaulting an officer by backing up towards him, or for equipment violations, such as a tag light violation, window tint, or any number of other reasons. Suzanne, I'm pretty sure that Freeman's truck didn't have a window tint problem. In reality, Suzanne just gave the whole game up here. She's admitting what we all know. Police just do whatever they want and then pick a made-up reason after the fact.
What crime did I commit that initiated the stop? Name it. Name the crime. You can't, because you know there isn't one. You can't name the crime because you know there isn't one.
Line number 4. Boykin wrote, petitioner struck Deputy Nelson's stationary vehicle. Okay, this is clown world stuff. Deputy Nelson intentionally pulled directly in front of Freeman with the intent of boxing Freeman in. He hit his brakes 1 second before impact. That is not what anyone means when they use the word stationary.
Nelson pulled his car in front of me with the intent of causing a crash, and he did cause a crash.
And finally, line number 5. Boykin wrote, petitioner used deadly force. In the law, deadly force refers to force which is likely to cause death or serious bodily injury. In this case, it is obvious that this low-speed fender bender, which clearly caused no injuries to anyone, and which was Donnie Nelson's fault, could not possibly be Freeman using deadly force.
To your knowledge, did Deputy Nelson require any kind of medical treatment, ambulance, anything of that sort? Okay.
On April 23rd, 2026, the Court of Appeals handed down their decision, and their decision is that the application is denied. That's right, the Georgia Court of Appeals denied the application, so they're not even willing to hear the case. They won't look at any of the evidence, they won't hear any arguments. Clearly, no one in a robe is going to solve this problem. It's up to the people to solve it. It's been 22 months since the Home Depot released security video, undeniably showing that Freeman did not try to back over Donnie Nelson, but Freeman is still facing an assault charge accusing that he did. Since the Home Depot scandal broke out, Freeman and his supporters have notified everyone in office with any authority over it, from the governor to the local police chief, about the misconduct. Most of these have been notified in person and have been shown these videos proving Freeman's innocence and guilt on the part of the police. But somehow, Freeman is still facing all of the same charges he was facing when the news broke.
I committed no crime. You know this. You know it.
And that's dangerous. Founding Father John Adams famously said, if innocence itself is brought to the bar and condemned, then the citizen will say, whether I do good or whether I do evil is immaterial. For innocence itself is no protection. And if such an idea as that were to take hold in the mind of the citizen, that would be the end of security whatsoever. By allowing this case to move forward, the state of Georgia has declared that it is literally open season for police to hunt, capture, and even kill any political dissenters, that you have no rights, that there will be absolutely no accountability for anyone in the government, that your innocence is no excuse, and that no amount of peaceful speech or appeals to reason will correct the problem. Now, it's true that it's not nice to say rude things about the police, but we have to protect the right to speech. We can't get to the truth unless we hear all opinions, and a democracy can't survive if all sides aren't fully debated. And here's the thing about speech protections. You don't need them for polite speech. People like polite speech. The speech that people don't want to hear is the speech that needs protecting. The U.S. Supreme Court said that speech may indeed best serve its high purpose when it induces a condition of unrest, creates dissatisfaction with conditions as they are, or even stirs people to anger. And more than anything, if we want to have a good government, we need to be able to criticize the government to make it good. The Georgia Court of Appeals ruled that, indeed, the freedom of individuals verbally to oppose or challenge police action without thereby risking arrest is one of the principal characteristics by which we distinguish a free nation from a police state. As of right now, that's exactly what Georgia is, a full-blown police state. There's a petition on change.org to dismiss all charges against Elder Freeman. To find it, follow the URL on your screen or go to change.org and search for Free Elder Freeman. You can also contribute to the Freeman's GoFundMe. To do so, follow the URL on your screen or go to GoFundMe and search for Support Freeman's Legal Battle. You can contact Mountain Judicial Circuit District Attorney George Christian by phone at 706-886-7920 or at the email address gchristian@pacga.org. To make an ethics complaint against Suzanne Boykin, you can follow the URL on your screen to contact the Prosecuting Attorneys Qualifications Commission of Georgia. To make a tip to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, go to the URL tips.fbi.gov. You can visit this URL to make a report to the United States Department of Justice. And you can visit this URL to make a report to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. To tell the Toccoa Police Department what you think of them, use the resources available at cityoftoccoa.com/police or visit their Facebook page. You can contact the Toccoa City Commission at cityoftoccoa.com/citycommission. You can contact the Stevens County Commission at this URL, and feel free to leave them a comment on the linked YouTube video of Mrs. Freeman addressing the commission. To contact Stevens County Sheriff Rusty Fulbright, visit stevenscountyga.gov/sheriff or follow the URL on your screen to visit the SCSO Facebook page. To make a complaint about the Georgia State Patrol, visit dps.georgia.gov or reach out using the contact information on your screen. I'm Mr. Pipsqueak signing off, and remember, you should never talk to police without your parents and a lawyer present.
Tactical difficulties, guys. I was wanting to show another one on the end of it. See how fast 11 back in here. If YouTube doesn't load back up, I'm just going to have to call it a day. There's YouTube. Try to get back in the StreamYard here. It's a little slow.
Please help me!
What are you visiting?
Yeah, I'm on tour.
What are you doing?
Where the hell is it? Fuck. I ain't gonna fuck with it too long, y'all. It's not one fucking load. Tell me it's not responding. Pulling that shit. Might as well be on the laptop. Won't let me close this screen out. Still not responding. Yeah, he pretty much breaks it down on this last video he did. But I mean that's the whole story, man. That's his third edition. And he's made sure he's covered everything, so you didn't miss anything from in each episode. That's his third edition of that. It's 2 years later. Might as well say 2 years later, and they're still trying to go on with these fucking bullshit charges when everybody's is fucking lying. The judge, the prosecutor, the cops, the sheriff, chief, everybody's fucking lying. Every fucking one. There was absolutely no reason to stop the man in the first place. And then everything beyond that, people should have went to fucking prison. They shouldn't have been allowed to resign. They should have been fired. They should have been fucking certified. Their retirement should have been fucking liquidated. They should have went to fucking jail. Especially Nelson that started it all with his fucking lies and his fucking hurt ego. Fuck, this thing's gonna give me shit, man. I guess I'm gonna have to call it a night, y'all. Guess I'll have to do the other one in a video or something because it's just not wanting to work. It just keeps saying it's not responding. So, all right, y'all. Been live 2 hours, 19 minutes. I will catch y'all on the next one, and should be some videos dropping soon. Same type of content, so if you don't want to see it, I apologize. But love you, Alvin, no matter what, brother. I just people's gotta, man, we gotta come to a fucking decision. Man, we gotta meet in the middle somewhere, dude. We gotta, cops gotta quit fucking with people when just to be fucking with people. I mean, I'm not saying every cop does that. I'm not saying that They do it every fucking day. But I mean, they do it every day. It's not the same, might not be the same cops doing it every day, man, but it's happening every day. And the shit's got to stop, dude. It's got to. You know, I've been fucked with by fucking bad cops before. I've been the suspect when I called for help, just like I've seen in these videos. I've never went to extreme, you know, I've never ran from cops in my life. I've never got beat up, but I have been arrested when I shouldn't have been. I have been questioned when I shouldn't have been. I have been I have been unlawfully fucking stopped and ID'd because I didn't know that I actually had a fucking choice to, why the fuck you need my ID for? I didn't know I had that option back then, you know, but we did. But I'm just saying, man, I got to do what I got to do, man. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I just feel like I might be able to fucking show you enough for you to realize that, you know, I'm not just talking shit, man. I'm not just hating on fucking police. None of that shit, dude. You know, I'm not anti-cop. I'm not defund the police. I'm saying punish the fucking bad ones. That's all we want. We want the corrupt fucking bullies, psychos wearing fucking badges. We want them off the fucking street. And if they have hurt someone, if they've done something that we would go to jail for, we want them to go to jail. We want them to be punished the same way we would be punished. And when we got bad judges, bad prosecutors, dude, that if she's doing this to this man with all this video evidence that no crime was committed and she's still pushing it 2 years later, how many other people has she wrongfully put in fucking jail and got charges to stick when they were false? You know, once they do this to one person, then we have to put into question every fucking case she's ever fucking been in. You know what I'm saying? Same way with the judge. We have to question every fucking case he's ever tried once they fuck up this bad, you know. But all right, brother, I love you. And I understand that too. I understand that it is a fucked up job, man. But y'all signed up for that job. You know what I'm saying? And there's too many times that one person pisses off a cop and they take it out on the next person they encounter. And that's a human. I agree. But when you are an officer of the law and you have taken this fucking oath, then you need to make a decision whether you should even encounter a person at that time or if you should let someone else fucking do it. You know what I mean? You need to find a balance. You know, if one person is giving you shit, take it out on that person. Don't take it out on every person you stop. Don't make up laws on the spot. You have to have your window down. You have to physically hand me your ID. You have to step out of the vehicle. Quit making unlawful shit that doesn't actually exist, man. I'm not saying you've ever done that. I do not know. And I'm not saying every cop that's ever been a cop has ever done that. But they got to quit making up shit on the fucking spot, making up laws that don't exist. They got to quit arresting people for DUI when they're not even high. They're completely fucking sober and they're going to fucking jail. Now, even if that person beats that case, like you said, if they spend 3 days in fucking jail over a crime they didn't commit, they lose their fucking job. Maybe their fucking rent was due. They might lose their fucking house. Yeah, that could happen in 3 days, let alone people who spend 30, 45 days in jail. You know, this bad accident happened on the highway, a whole different video, man. This bad accident happened. A drunk driver killed motorcyclists and all kinds of shit. Well, the report was it was a black SUV. I can't remember the brand on it. So they tracked this woman down that they see on a flock camera in the area. They track her down. They say that there's damage on her vehicle consistent with the crash. Well, then they catch the person that actually did it, that was driving a maroon vehicle, same vehicle, but hers was maroon, actually had the damage on it, actually had the paint on it from the other vehicles. And then they arrest her finally. And then they let the first one out of jail. And then she gets a lawyer. Lawyer shows there was no damage to her vehicle. Her vehicle was in perfect fucking condition in the police lot, not a scratch on it. But they had this woman in jail saying her vehicle had damage consistent with the fucking crash. This woman spent 45 fucking days in jail, bro. 45 days in jail. Yes, you might win a few thousand or something on a fucking lawsuit, but that doesn't account for her having to spend that kind of time in, because jail's not a nice place to be, bro. I don't know if you've ever been there, but I have. I've been there for reasons of my own, and I've been there for reasons that were not of my own. But I've spent time there, and it's not a fun fucking place to be. I cannot imagine being an innocent, actually innocent person that, is not violent, is not, a submissive, innocent person. I cannot imagine being one of those people and have to go to jail. I got really fucking lucky that I'm a big motherfucker. I look fucking mean, even if I'm not. I look intimidating, and that came in handy. That came in handy a lot inside a fucking jail. You know what I'm saying? So when a person that is innocent, has no criminal record, has never done anything wrong, and they go to jail because of being falsely identified in a crime, that's dude. Money shouldn't be the only thing to cover that. I mean, there was no investigating done in this thing, man. As soon as they seen her vehicle, and there was no proof that she ever got her vehicle fixed, she never should have been arrested. She could have still been a suspect. Okay, I understand that. Keep her in mind in case you find that she got that car fixed at some point. But the first of all, there was one witness said it was a black SUV. But the second of all, the non-investigated part of this is the paint on the vehicle she hit was fucking maroon, not black. But they continued to pursue this black vehicle that had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Shit's got to change, bro. I love you, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know we disagree on some shit. And I mean, I just can't be with this comply shit when a person hasn't done anything except exercise their rights. And this is 2 years this man's still fighting the shit because of crooked prosecutors, lying police, crooked judges. There's video evidence to dispute every fucking literally the only thing that there's not video evidence to prove is the stop sign they said that he ran. But even on that one, Officer Nelson, there's no way in hell he could have seen whether he ran a fuck stop sign or not. But I'll see you later, brother. Love you. Bye.